Well, finally, we now go back to the story in Rivers State where the APC chairman in the state has called on Simanayi Fubara, the governor of the state, to either resign or face impeachment. Well, this was after a raft of decisions by the Supreme Court, of course, in Abuja, saying that the governor should recognize the Martin Amewule-led assembly and represent the budget. So to give more legal perspective to this, I'm being joined by Evans Ufeli. Thank you so much, Evans, for staying with us to talk about this.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so APC Chairman Rivers State Tony Okocha accused Governor Fubara of abusing the rule of law. Has he committed an impeachable offense?
There's no impeachable offense whatsoever. It does not lie in the mouth of the APC chairman to determine who has committed an impeachable offense. I mean, he has no authority to make that expression. It's just that these days everyone is just talking in that country. In Nigeria, everyone is talking. Even people who don't know primary laws are all talking. Okay, it is wrong. If he has committed any impeachable infraction, the law is clear as to what should be done. Is the House of Assembly that will give him a notice of impeachment, okay, based on infractions for which he can also defend himself and also come out, and it's a long haul hog. The 7-man panel will be constituted by the chief judge of the state, and it is that 7-man committee that will determine whether or not your offense is impeachable, and then advise the State House of Assembly accordingly. So you can't just say that it's not does not lie in the party's authority to so do, whether the PDP or the APC.
All right. Well, we cannot take it away from the fact that the latest Supreme Court's judgments seem to have deepened the turmoil in the state, with different parties interpreting the ruling to their advantage. But then what is your own interpretation to the latest Supreme Court's judgments?
The Supreme Court has asked him to go and represent the budget, okay? That, 3 members of the State House of Assembly cannot form a quorum to determine governance in the states or oversight or lawmaking in the states, okay? That's exactly what the court did, and the court had to stop their financial allocation and the rest of that, and then making the clear orders and consequential orders that the governor should go and comply with those directives, and then the governor have reached out to the State House of Assembly members to have this done. Before now, the State House of Assembly went ahead and gave the governor 48 hours within which to come and present an executive bill, and I find that very laughable. The level of legislative illiteracy in the Rivers State House of Assembly is unimaginable. An executive bill, a budget, an executive bill that details appropriation. It's the executive that owns it. The legislature cannot determine when that should be presented, even when there's a court order to that effect. The court order did not give a time limit within which the governor must comply, or within which the governor must go and make that budget available to the legislatures. So why the outburst of giving him 48 hours to come and present it? Otherwise, what? There's no law anywhere in the country. We need to, the people who represent us, they need to be trained. Okay, maybe in basic laws, okay, governance and the rest of that before they of course. I mean, this is very embarrassing, and that to say that this passed in the House, a House that have a committee on legal issue and all that none of them could, intercept that very wrong move. It's unfortunate. Okay, now the governor is reaching out to them, calling for, a kind of resolution so that you can have a peaceful compromise on what should be done, so that their enumerations and all that will be given to them. And I think that is the way to go. The governor has done the right thing. So I don't want them to be deceived or be dissuaded by this expression coming from the chairman of the APC from the state, that he should resign or what. I mean, that's not the right thing to do.
Okay.
So the party should caution.
All right. So earlier on, you said that the party does not have the power to determine whether the governor can be impeached, and now the party is saying that the governor has no constitutional power also to declare duly elected members of the state assembly non-existent on the grounds of defection. So who or what has that power? Because certainly there seems to have been a political shift in the state.
You know, if you look at the Constitution very clearly, you tell the Constitution expressly states that the dealings and decisions of either the State House of Assembly or the National Assembly shall be subjected to judicial review. Okay, that's clear. So, where these members have defected from their political party to another political party, even though the Constitution says that they've lost their seat, it is not self-executory. It has to be subjected to judicial review. Judicial interpretation and judicial review, okay? And that is still pending before the Federal High Court, okay? Even though the Supreme Court has, in a way, by directing the governor to go back and present that budget, have in a way alluded indirectly to the fact that this their seat is still intact, because the issue of their seat being vacant or not was not before the Supreme Court. Okay, it's before another court. But since the Supreme Court judgment came first, and now the Supreme Court have said that three members of the State House cannot, make up what a state legislature should be. Therefore, he should go and represent it to the larger house. Okay, that is the way the Supreme Court gave the judgment. And going to do that does not in any way undermine the case that is still pending, that has to do with the actual fraction that has to do with their seats. Okay, so we should get it right. It is the court that will make the pronouncement as to whether their seats are vacant or not, because it's not self-executory. Since decisions and actions of the State House of Assembly and the National Assemblies are subject to judicial review, the court have that power and authority to so determine that expression of law in the Constitution.
All right. Now, we see that Governor Fubara seems to be fighting a political war on all fronts. From what we've seen so far, what actually do you think is oppositions really want in Rivers State? What do you think the best solution to this political quagmire is?
It's not even the lawmakers of the problem. The problem is Wike, who have consistently made sure that the state is ungovernable, because you have personal difference with the governor, and because the State House of Assembly members were, they are loyal to Wike. So they find themselves in that cup where they are not acting based on the direction, or so it seems, of Wike, and that's where the problem is coming from. Because if you look at the lawmakers since they were elected, they've not really enjoyed that legislative position and entrench themselves and learn and expand, make laws for the good governance of that state. Both them and the people are in constant battle with the governor and the rest of that. So I think Wike should allow that state to grow. He has been a governor, he's out of the place. He should allow the current governor to take charge, and let the State House of Assembly also work with a mind of their own. If Wike can get out of the way, you will see that there will be peace and harmony in that place. But as long as Wike is the one injecting and instigating this rancor by a show of superiority of power and the rest of that, there's no way they're going to have peace until someone gives in and allow peace to reign in the interest of the masses.
Thank you so much, Evans Ufeli, for sharing your thoughts with us.
A pleasure.